So you just get hit with one, not both of its claws. Roll that damage right now.
Oh, good. So it can't hug me. I hate hugs.
You hate hugs?
Yeah.
You have a red dot on your GeeklyCon lanyard. 7 damage.
Okay.
Okay. And then I think the spider that's next to Veronica will continuous assault on her. It's going to be 19 versus AC.
Miss.
Okay, and the second hit of this is 12 versus AC. That's going to miss as well. Ah, Jesus shit Christ. Alright. It's the end of their round.
Okay. So I got one up on me, and I'm that's still a human. I'm flanking a spider with Kim.
Yes.
Yes. True story.
Okay. I mean, what the hell? So if I do a burst 1 centered on myself again, it won't affect Kim.
No, you're flanking, so you're on other side of it. So I think close
Right.
burst 1 would not. The way I
Right.
envision that.
So I'm gonna cast Phantom Chasm, which makes the enemies think that a giant chasm has opened up beneath their feet and terrifies them. So each enemy in burst. So first enemy, I just rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, is the first one the one that you're flanking with Veronica, or
And
the other one?
I was thinking the first one, was the one I was flanking. And then
I
this
think so,
one
too.
is 6 plus 9 is 15.
Versus AC?
That's versus Will.
That will hit.
And okay, I was about to say, I might re-roll this, because this is a daily. So, the first one is going to take... Oh, I get to re-roll that, because it's an arcane implement thing. 13 damage and falls prone. So the spider, 13 damage, falls prone, and is immobilized.
Excellent.
The second one, I get that, I get that. 12 damage, falls prone, and is immobilized until the end of its next turn. And the burst has created a zone that lasts until the end of the encounter. Any enemy that enters that zone will fall prone.
Nice.
It, bloodies, and the humanoids, what kind of damage is it that you're doing?
So this is Arcane Illusion Psychic.
Okay. So
I'm messing with their minds.
the human host falls limp, and then the mouth slides over, like, all you see is a retracting kind of tentacle, and you don't see anything but a spider behind you. And then the human slumps towards you, and then you see these spider limbs kind of reach out at you from that. And it does its bloodied ability. You seek host. You roll that now. That's going to be 26 versus your will.
Yeah, and my shield won't help. That's only a +4, so that will hit.
You're dominated. Save ends.
That's what she said.
You are impaled in the head
Save ends
area.
would be the worst safety word ever.
You are
Sorry, okay.
impaled in the head area with a limb of a spider.
Okay.
And it's coming up on your back, and you can feel stuff dripping down your back, like liquids and stuff, as it's
Okay.
coming all up on you. Cool. Next.
If you don't have my character sheet, I'd be happy to run the Dominated.
Yeah. You'll just get
By choosing
one
the attack.
action. You can't.
Yeah.
As a dominated person, you can only use a standard at will. Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Next up would be let's see, Emily. Is it? Veronica?
It's me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I see this spider crawl up onto the Baroness's face, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to use Dark Majesty to inflict psychic damage on this spider.
Nice.
Crit 20.
What's full damage for that?
Let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's see. Oh, shit. I can't do that. It's a freaking melee weapon. I'll hit her in the head. Never mind. I can't do that.
Okay.
Unless you want me to... I mean... Yeah. I did already roll it, so that's up to you
Yeah.
if you want me to stick with that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was
You've got a bug on you! Thwack!
Yeah.
Give me a
I
very
am not the highest of wisdom.
give me a very quick high-low. See if you do it or not. High being you do it.
High, I'll do it. Low, I won't. 72.
Roll
That's
full
lucky.
damage that will hit both Emily and hit her host.
Okay. So
We don't
that
need to roll its
is...
full damage,
yeah, it's a... 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18... Yeah. 18 damage.
Okay.
I am definitely bloodied.
Emily, you experience the sensation of death, and it is only a couple of moments into this that you realize it's through your host and not through you, that you feel it leaving this plane. You also have an intense ringing, and you have a feeling pain like you haven't felt before, and are on the ground looking up at like a tiefling over you with a flail.
Okay, so I'm prone.
No, you can get up as a free action. There's just flavor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, excellent.
Just gonna look up at the tiefling and go, what?
With my tail as a free action, I'm going to remove a healing potion and put it up to her lips to take a sip.
Okay, do you drink that, Emily?
It's clearly labeled healing potion.
Yeah,
It's hearts on it.
no, I'm just checking because I feel like I saw something, and I can't remember because I've made a couple characters recently. If it's this character or another character, where if I drink a healing potion, I can take 2 healing surges instead of 1, but I don't think it's this character. So, yeah, no, I will be happy to take that.
Okay, as you move your mouth to take it and the muscles in your kind of face kind of move in that direction, you're aware that there's some sort of obstruction in your head. And it takes a moment for a part of this spider's limb to slide out of the back of your neck, where it impaled you. And you only feel that as you move your mouth to swallow.
Is my beautiful face scarred?
You will most certainly have a scar, but the way I interpret D&D healing magic is it being just, like, limbs closing in on themselves, like, really, really good. So, if you're treated pretty well, you won't be disfigured, but you are certainly scarred at the moment.
Okay.
That's
You went
relatively
from MILF
unpleasant.
to not MILF.
Awesome. Excellent. So we've killed one. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Veronica?
That's it. I'm all done.
Okay. Tasia.
Do I hear them making any sound, any specific sound?
The spider people?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of clittering. You certainly hear like an intense noise when they're seeking host, but besides that, not really.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a melee basic attack.
Excellent. This is against the one that's been on you.
The
That's not
spider.
bloodied. Yeah. Oh, you're attacking the one that is bloody?
Near. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's 15 versus
Versus?
AC.
No, I'm sorry, that
AC?
won't do it.
Oh, okay. Can I move?
Yes, you most certainly can.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in a position to to be flanking with Kim.
Okay, you do have one kind of up on you, so you might invoke an opportunity attack if you're not shifting away from him to disengage from combat. You know what I mean?
Can it be an adjustment so I don't take an opportunity?
Yeah, that's fine. We're doing a lot of theater of the mind. I'm going to say that's appropriate. You can shift or adjust to it without invoking that. That's okay. And you are flanking with Kim on the blooded one. Cool.
Okay.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, not really.
Good work. Top of the order is me. You just have 2 left. I'm going to start with the one that's within melee of Tasia. That is not bloodied. That's going to be 15 versus your AC.
No.
Yes, its second attack is going to be 27 versus your AC.
Oh, yes.
I'll roll damage for that. That's going to be 9 damage.
Okay, I'm bloodied.
The
Not dead yet.
The spider does cold fire attack against Kim. And that is going to be 15 versus AC.
No.
And then that's going to be 11
fail.
versus AC. They've got 2 claw attacks.
Okay.
Okay.
Fail and fail.
Excellent. That's my turn. Emily.
Okay. So there's none right there. There's none
Within melee of you?
in melee.
No, there are
Yeah.
not. They're not, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, music.
I don't want to do that because that's each creature, not each enemy, and that would be bad.
This one.
So I'm gonna. So there are 2 left.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that they're both within 20 squares.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do my arc lightning. That's a target 1 or 2 creatures.
Okay.
So the first one is the one that's flanked, but not flanked by me, so I don't get a bonus. And that's a 12 versus reflex.
No miss.
And the other one is a 13 versus reflex. Let's re-roll that one.
Okay.
And that is a 23 versus reflex.
Hit.
Yay! 8 lightning damage.
Describe its death.
So it was a spider?
Yes.
So I recently had a spider in my head.
Literally.
Literally, and Kim, with her tail, like she's fighting somewhere else, and with her tail, she's like giving me a healing potion, and so I'm like half buzzed with healing. I'm kind of looking around, and I'm just sending out lightning bolts, like with one finger, kind of half disoriented, and then I see the spider, and I just send one kind of wildly, and it just happens to land like right in the middle of its stomach, and it explodes, sending spider guts out over the other 2. And I apologize for spider guts.
No,
worries.
spider guts are perfectly appropriate.
That's awesome.
I
Good work.
hate spider guts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one is
Lightning
dead.
bolt.
Toss.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Veronica.
Oh, yes.
You've one more.
Uno mas.
Ew,
Okay.
that sucker.
I hope I do. Okay. I can't believe I critted on your face. So bad.
Usually when people crit on my face, that's not what I'm hoping they end up doing, but...
All right.
We're not streaming, right?
We are.
Oh my God, we are, but okay. So let's see. I'm just gonna ferocious strike. If I need to move to get over there, I'm gonna ferocious strike one, the last one.
Okay.
18 plus 9 versus AC.
Hit.
Okay. 12 damage. I'm sorry, no, 12. 14 damage.
Describe its death.
Oh. And it's just the spider that I'm hitting, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, as I'm moving over, I kind of step on one of its stupid little legs. And so its body is like kind of struggling to get away. And all I do is I just pound my flail into the ground and just let it sit there for a minute. And as its legs keep twitching, I pick it up and pound again, just to add a little insult to injury.
Nice. Excellent.
Spider guts.
We have exited combat and you guys were successful. Congratulations. Only...
Take 5 minute break.
Almost died, but okay.
Do we need to take a break? Did someone say that?
Oh.
No? Okay, excellent. Yeah, there's a little bit of pain. There is fire. Many parts of this shrine are burning.
Son of a bitch.
What do you guys choose to do?
I'm gonna go and run to look at the relics that the head elf told us about.
Yes. So you're going to head back into the shrine to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You do so. There's a strange noise that you hear going in first. Why don't you roll me a perception?
Crit.
Crit on perception?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You hear a strange smacking sound, almost like someone eating oatmeal or someone using a cat to masturbate.
Oh, I've heard this
Oh,
before.
no! I didn't need to hear that.
I
I
am immediately
through most of that.
I'm immediately turned on.
The weirdest boner right now.
Weirdest boner, weirdest lady boner. And I'm going to turn in that direction. Nope. Fuck, I need to see if I'm going to keep on going or if I'm going to investigate. Hold on. High, I investigate the smacking sound. Low, I'm just going straight for the ritual, the things. 95. I'm distracted.
You're distracted?
I need to know what that sound
Excellent.
is.
Going deep into it, there's a lot of things that look like living trees or statues that are kind of visages of certain people. Kalana is one of them. There's Melora. There's other figures you don't recognize. Some Hamadryad, some human, some otherwise. And that's kind of towards the center and by the initial entrance of this place. There's a stream that runs through it, and the High Cleric, when you had pointed out the fire, had taken the Hamadryads to that stream, tried to put them in the water. They don't need to breathe. They'd be totally fine there. And they're just kind of catatonic to try to shield them from that fire. He did so. Most of the Hamadryads you can see kind of are floating in the stream, are completely dead-eyed. One of them is about up to her elbows inside of the High Priest's stomach, and reaching in and eating much of its innards, or at least attempting to consume them, and is looking very wild and very strange. Most of that High Priest is strewn around this particular Hamadryad. The Hamadryad has an insignia of Melora on its shoulder, and is certainly was or is a priestess of Melora.
Okay, since I was able to free the Baroness, I don't necessarily think that the Hamadryad is a lost cause. So I'm going to... Do I see like the parasite, or is it completely concealed inside the host?
The spiders, for context, if you look at the Roll20, are like 3 feet, like wingspan. They're pretty significant.
Okay.
You do not see any parasite physically attached to the Hamadryad, or any obvious mode of entry.
So I don't see the little hook things like on top, right?
No.
Okay. So this is just some crazy, almost zombie-like Hamadryad then, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just going to attack it.
Excellent. Just roll any basic attack. It's not looking at you or paying attention to you.
Let's see. Just ferocious strike. 18 plus 9 versus AC.
As your flail impacts it, you hear physically it scream, kind of as like a human or like a sentient creature's reflex to being hurt. But then you hear it mentally as well, just like a little scream, and it falls limp to the ground next to the priest. It doesn't need to consume food to sustain itself. So it regurgitates much of the contents of the priest that had eaten all over itself and the priest. It was not eating for life or sustenance.
Damn, you have been listening to CAF podcast.
I feel a little sad that happened. I'm going to pull this Hamadryad's leg, and I'm just going to pull it along with me, and as soon as I see some fire, I'm going to throw it into the fire.
Excellent. That's a good thing. Hamadryads burn better than normal wood. They're just... And this one is no exception.
Whoosh. Okay, so I will go out of my way to do that, and then go to the place with the relics.
On a altar in the very center of the shrine, there is an old and weathered-looking book that's sitting on it.
I like books.
You seem like a person that would like books too, and so I will say, that's my call, and I'll say, come and look. I don't like to read.
Come here, Elf. Come here, Elfie.
Yeah, Elfie.
Yeah.
I'll go too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because she's not like a bookworm like a lot of wizards, but I mean she's still probably the most bookish.
Right.
So she probably would have been using her freezing burst to try and stem the tide of the fire, but I'm going to guess that that's a lot. The fire's a lot bigger than she can sort of control, and she doesn't have any like massive water attacks. So
I was curious if you guys would make some effort in that regards. You are able to if this fire just proceeds naturally, you are very confident that you have cordoned off quite a bit of the shrine, which you know is important to these hippy-dippy folk. That you do not believe, unless there's anything that continues to fuel this fire, that it will be able to reach until it burns itself out naturally.
okay, good, because then the people will love me and pay more in taxes.
Yay!
Yay, fiefdom! All right, and so then I'll look over and see where Kim is pointing. Yeah, okay, and I'll do something. What do you want me to do?
The book is open on it. You can,
oh, the book is open? What's the book?
What's the book?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things written on there. What are your languages?
Common and Elven.
Okay.
Ew.
Yeah, the page that's open is written in Supernal. As you watch it, the page of it, you notice
that's
that
not what Tieflings speak, right? That's
what Supernal? Supernal is typically used as like a language of the gods or of the heavens. Some things.
okay.
There's a couple of like invoker classes that use it for some things, and it's spoken in some places of the world, although it's considered a very much exotic language.
Right, it's those fancy people in those big universities who learn dead languages.
You do notice that some of the lines of text on it seem to kind of be fading away, and other lines seem to be taking their place. Like it's almost like the words are slowly scrolling a little bit, kind of.
Can I put together what that is? Like, is somebody replacing... I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, somebody's hacking the code of the magic.
You can
I don't know
roll
if that's
something if you want to roll something.
possible,
You do whatever you
though.
want.
Would that be, What kind of roll would that be?
You'd roll whatever check you would think would work and explain to me how it works, and I would assign a DC. You could roll an acrobatics to decide that, and I'd have like a DC 50.
I want to roll an Arcana check.
Excellent.
I want to
This is some
intimidate
magic
the book.
If you
Can I roll
Yeah.
too?
if you get really high in Arcana, I will tell you a secret of its magic. But you have to do pretty high.
Like 17 plus 12?
It's not bad.
29.
Can I aid?
Yeah, please do.
Can
I do not
too?
aid.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. The more the merrier.
I don't know. I rolled a 5 plus Arcana.
Yeah, plus Arcana.
Yeah or no?
Oh, you're a witch,
Okay, so
probably.
16.
16. Okay. So you got a, I think you rolled a 17, then you got a huge plus, and then you have 2 people aiding you. So you're in the 30s, I think, the low 30s. Is that
Yeah.
right, Emily?
31.
Getting above a 30 on this, you can immediately feel tendrils of magic coming out of this book. And you feel that it is bound to specific people. And you do feel that there's a recently severed connection that this book had with the priest of this place. And you do feel magic pouring out of it as if it's like an open wound in it.
Do I see my own surface thoughts being written down in this book?
This book is in every game I ever make because I love this book, and it's just in my mythos. And Emily has just recognized what it is from her own games with me.
Sorry,
And
yeah, that's total. Yeah, sorry.
That's
Killer,
from,
she's made a gaming.
yeah, no.
I'm sorry, I'm trying now, but once I hear that, I'm like,
No.
damn it, why does my character always get stuck picking up this book?
Yeah, no, the book chooses, as you've learned, the book chooses its hosts, and it replaces them when they die. And you have just been, in your second campaign, possibly third, chosen by it again. You cannot get rid of it. So you are now bound
It
to
has
this
chosen the
grimoire.
player and not the character.
As you are feeling this magic with it, you do notice the text in Supernal kind of fade out, and your own heart language, which is either Elven or Common. I'd imagine it's like 80% Common, a little bit of Elven, as heart language kind of tend to be, even if you're bilingual, replacing it. And you notice your own surface thoughts being in it.
But there's still the supernal.
No, they're in your heart language. The Supernal's fading away.
Oh, so the priest's thoughts were supernal.
Yes.
Oh, what an asshole.
Yeah. Priests who know dead languages and are all fancy.
That is some horse shit.
Can I flip through it and see if there's any other
Yes, you most
languages
certainly
being
can.
written?
Yeah.
Do I need to make a roll?
No, you'll flip
Okay.
right through it. Actually, high or low?
Whoa.
Okay, you notice a giant picture of a lava dragon, and you see this beautiful and terrible visage of this demonic-looking tiefling biting into the heart of it. And you do notice all sorts of thoughts around there in a variety of languages, because this person is very multi-languaged, but mostly in common, kind of describing her finding her strength through her party member and best friend, Kim.
And God.
And God.
So I'm just gonna turn back to Kim and because Larissa knows nothing about any of this, and she's just gonna go, "Hey Kim, did you eat a dragon's heart at some point?"
I turn around and be like, yeah. Like,
And you're like,
yesterday.
"I'm psyched."
What you presume to be yesterday.
Who was
Was I there?
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
watched this happen.
Oh, it was fabulous. Amazing.
I'm having trouble getting character and player knowledge separated because I don't know if my character would have figured out that it's like she's been bound to this book and she's seeing people's thoughts.
You got a 30 on Arcana. It's not something that
so-
you need to wisdom it through. It's a physical and visceral sensation that you experience happening to you.
Okay, so I do know. Okay, so I'm gonna say, hey, I think that there's someone else bound to this book who saw that happen, who is really into you.
Yeah, I'm into that. That's exactly what Kim says.
Does it
He's like-
tickle, what does Kim's ego think of her recent exploits being etched not only in the person's mind, but now in this physical relic of Melora as well?
So here's Kim's thing, is Kim is on a quest, not so much of like, oh, well, I'm going on quest to get rich and famous. Kim's quest is to become a god. and to achieve ultimate power.
Ooh.
And so, honestly, like, for Kim to be like, oh, you know, someone's worshiping me, it's like, oh, check. Like, this is like bucket list stuff
Nice.
for her.
Nice. I'm
And
glad that
so
you're...
it's like, yeah, she's really excited that this is like happening, but I'm gonna roll a bluff because anyone that wants to be superior should not look like it. 18 plus 13, so I'm like, well, I mean, I can see why someone would consider me a god, but please don't think that I consider myself a god yet. And is this going to be a problem?
No, that's so. There's someone else is bound to this book,
Mm-hmm,
and this book is here. And if it's the person if it's the Ardent, who I know that you
Adherent.
said that you knew, Adherent. Why do I keep saying Ardent? Is that even a D&D thing, an Ardent?
It's a
Exarch.
class. Mhm.
It's a class, that's why
Yeah.
I'm Adherent. Then that might tell us where that Adherent is.
I
So I'll
mean,
show it to Kim. Is there anything that might sort of tell us who is doing this? Whose other thoughts are in this book?
I also speak Common and Elven, so I should be able to read what she has been able to read.
Yes. This book transcribes the surface thoughts of its bearers, and then it has like more permanent memories that are kind of imprinted on it. It is relatively easy to occlude your thoughts from this book if you don't wish them to have it. So it's a rather edited version of your own self that kind of comes up in this particular book. Not that you necessarily know that. This is me just word vomiting kind of a little bit about it. But you do see things written. You see very specific memories. And you notice that it's very clear when it's from this this passage of the book. I assume you thumbed through it a little bit. The other bearers of the book, it's not as vivid. But through everything that's Kalana's, there are like beautiful illustrations. And you can see a lot. You can see a lot of her struggling with her mother and her being kind of a terrifying and imposing figure. You see her like leaving.
Yeah, what's that like?
You see her leaving the forest and kind of really wanting to make her way in the world. And then the most illustrated stuff is her many times adventuring with the party. And you see Bjorn illustrated very well. You see the changeling in like all these different things illustrated very beautifully. And you do notice yourself as well, especially the later you get into it. And you can see like fire almost moving in the memories of you. And fire is like not the normal revulsion in the memories. It's like almost worshipped and like sought after in the way the fire is depicted all around you. You also notice that she has that the word that comes up a lot in the later passages of Kalana's memories are a lot of surface thoughts related to Heart Tree and her Heart Tree, needing to find it and it being in danger.
Okay. I'm going to take a step back and look at the Baroness and just say, I feel like after Kalana's interactions with me, maybe she's choosing a different path for herself. And I respect that. I make my own path, and I can respect anyone that wants to try and do that. So I don't necessarily think that we need to stop what's happening. If that's what she wants, like maybe this is a really oppressive place to be. But if she feels like her heart tree is in danger, that's probably going to be my priority, is to go and help someone who worships me. I mean, if I can start answering God calls now.
Emily looked conflicted. By the way, I do want to, as an aside, just ask you guys how much longer you have to play tonight.
I can probably go for 40 more minutes.
Okay,
I can try to make it another 40 minutes.
you got this. I believe in you.
I will be more and more lethargic. I will try to get my shit together. So no, it's one of those things that's like, I'm thinking about she's a really young elf, and so like she doesn't know what her goal is. So there's a part of me that's kind of like, wow, Larissa hearing this, very, very sort of this very strong woman who she thought she was like and isn't. Talking could be confusing, but then there's a part of me that's like, this place is on fucking fire.
You, through your magic, was able to. You believe that the core of the shrine will not be encroached by the fire. You think that you've set up enough ice that it will run its course.
Okay, so the big issue is the heart tree, because whatever is probably attacking the heart tree is probably producing those spider things. Can I do a nature check on the spider things?
That would be a good call.
Oh, good call. I didn't even think about that.
16 plus 4.
You're from here.
20. Yeah. So plus 15 for being from here.
Contact telepathy is not an unheard of thing here. It's a very exotic trait, but it certainly happens. It seems to happen quite a bit with the Hamadryads here, and there's a very strong school of magic of scions here that are both religious and non-religious. And that's a very strong trope of the discipline of that scion magic that's kind of taught here very prominently. You've certainly never seen anything like these spiders before, but you touched one of their minds, and it felt to you in the same school of magic as the scion stuff that's very indigenous to this area.
All right, so I will relay that back to the party.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to relay that back to the party and say that, these are probably spiders, or they may not even be spiders. They may just be manifestations of some scion's power to dominate through telepathy.
I do not approve.
The only people who should control your mind is your god.
And me. Okay. It's still in my demonic form.
Yeah.
I am going to say...
This is a little weirded out.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. One, we probably need to ride as far as we can today, rest, and then try to aid Kalano, meet up with her. Because when I touched minds with her briefly, and I'm saying this to you because I want you to think that I have telepathic powers, or at least know that I have telepathic powers.
Because you believe that.
Yeah, I do. It's fully ingrained. When I touched minds with her earlier, she seemed to be kind of far away and running at a very fast pace. So I don't think we'll catch up with her today, but I want to make as much headway as we can. So let's ride, camp, and see if we can catch up with her.
Can you use your telepathy to point us in the right direction?
Oh, of course.
Because if Kim says she's a telepathic, Larissa will believe her.
Yeah. So I'm going to get very still and quiet, furrow my brow, and try to pinpoint a location of Kalana. See if my heart beats in a direction that's gonna point me to her. And I wait.
Everything to do with, I see if my heart can feel her, makes my embarrassment meter just rise, because I know I started this shit.
I love it.
I think it's great, actually.
Do you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you reach that part of your mind that you have only touched when Kalana leads you there, you are very acutely aware that some of her magic is over you, and you've been aware of that every time you've kind of thought about her since you've woken up. That you have the spells that you're aware of that have been cast on you, skill empowerment, send thoughts, and there's another ritual that she did on you. I think it was fortune something. But there is more than just those 3 basic spells that you've seen her do. And you're not entirely sure about their nature. But you don't necessarily divine a physical place where she is.
One to 25 north, 26 to 50 south, and so forth. So north, south, east, west.
Oh shit, you're not going to find her.
Oh.
18. I'm going to confidently say we go
Oh
north.
no! And you're so good at bluffing, they believe you're a telepath. Okay.
Yep.
You know
I
what?
believe I'm a telepath. I'm just something is blocking my telepathic powers right now, and I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Okay.
23 on bluff. Like, well, actually, let me say, like, that's my bluff, and I'm going to say I can't be 100% sure about this because I'm new to this, and these powers have just recently manifest themselves in me.
I love the idea that
I
Kelowna
read it
on the
on
front
Insight.
page. Yeah, Insight would be really good. I love the idea that that Kim on the I imagine her as having a character sheet basically is what she carries around, which I think is cool. I like that she's like adding character class Scion and just writing that thing on it.
Yes. She just completely believes this about herself.
Believe it.
Believe it. And
I rolled Insight.
What'd you get?
I rolled Insight,
What'd
and
you
I
get?
critted it.
You critted on Insight?
I critted.
Thank God.
You
Yeah.
critted on Insight. You know Kelowna. You've met her. You've adventured with her. You've traveled with her. She's silly. She's weird. She doesn't really know herself. She's young. But she does care about the people that she cares about. You also know, Kim. You know Kim very well. You know Kim in all her kind of hubris and intense personality and passion. You do know that she believes sometimes a lot about herself, and a lot of it is true. She's a very powerful person that makes a lot of shit happen. But you do not know, you're pretty intimately aware that she doesn't have the same sort of magic as Kelowna. You're
Well, I
skeptical.
know she's lying or not.
You don't believe that she's lying, because 20 in Insight means she believes what she's saying. That's kind of the bit of the problem. If you're PvPing Insight...
But she's still wrong.
Yeah, so you know that she believes... Well, no, you know that she believes that she's a Scion. You also know that she doesn't believe that Kelowna is necessarily North, and that she is bluffing a little bit about knowing the specifics of that.
Okay.
You should metagamer.
Are you
Please,
sure?
please correct me.
Are you sure we are going north?
Well, I mean, I think that that's the best way.
Oh, you think that that's the best way. You don't know it.
Well, as I've said, these are new powers to me that have recently manifest themselves. I don't control what I become. I say in my full demonic form.
You're intimidating as shit.
Yeah.
Emily, what is your character doing?
I don't know.
Your character is in the possession of a brand new epic level magic item.
Right.
By the way, in the back page of that, there is an illustration of a banana. It's canon.
I know that's a reference, but I don't know to what.
Yeah.
To somewhere where I wasn't. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about Larissa. Like, I don't think Larissa's someone who, like, a lot of wizards. She's not really super into being a wizard or to studying.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think that she wanted to be. I think she wanted to be an adventurer, and that she was naturally good at magic as an elf, and just fell into it. So I don't know that she'd be enraptured with this weird book.
Oh, you don't care about it? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. Unless I can see something that Kelowna is saying that would give us a direction.
Do you look at what Kelowna is saying? Is what I'm getting at. You do. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
There are a lot of memories towards the
But
end of it.
I'm just
There's-
saying I'm not Avery pouring through the book. You
Avery
know.
would fucking love that book.
Mm.
By the way, we still don't know what book Avery has that she's kept hidden from the party the whole time. You realize, right?
Yeah, sorry, that's metagaming for a
Yeah,
different-
other game. Sorry, other game. Oh, Avery
We're
would love that
playing
book.
together too much.
You do notice that there are a lot of recent memories. They're not as beautifully illustrated as the ones that you now believe may be important to her, that you've seen very vividly. But there are certainly a little bit of memories of her surroundings. She's bound into this book in such a way that you can almost see a little bit of hints here and there from her perspective. And it's continually rewriting itself in the most recent pages of it. And you do notice that she is moving through a forest at some pace.
Yeah, but can I tell a direction?
You can tell that it's deeper into the forest, and you being from here might know what direction the forest grows deeper.
You can
Alright,
also
then.
use the sun to, like, if you can see, like, what the sky looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If she was like, it's sunset and the sun is blinding me, that would be, okay, we have to go to the west.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's a Hamadryad who has great low-light vision and perfect forest walk. So I don't think she cares where the sun is, but you can roll something to see if you can see that through her memories. It's a strong possibility. The DC isn't that high.
I'm not sure if
A
that
yawn
would
won't cut
be...
it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, like my eyes are watering. I'm sorry, guys. I told
No,
you
it's
I'm into a
fine.
pumpkin after midnight. But I'm committed.
Okay. Just
So,
one more thing. Gotta do the thing.
So I can see that being an Arcana check.
Sure, do it.
Because
Roll
it's
it.
a
Let's do
magic
it.
book. I lost it under the table. So I'm gonna roll with roll 20. Because I don't have another one. Where's roll 20?
It's all my desk is covered in. It's fucking nice.
Well, I just moved, so...
I can't get out of my head what Avery would do with that book. She'd be so
29.
Isn't it weird that Avery and Redwin and never mind. 29. Yes, you are able to see the direction of the sun from that book, from it, and you have a very strong sense of direction.
All right, so I'm gonna. It's not to the north, is it?
It's north-ish.
North-ish. So I might still believe that she's
No,
kinda psychic then.
it's enough in the general direction of north that maybe you wouldn't get there if you went due north the whole time. But you're like, hey, if she was feeling her heartstrings, maybe they were pulling her in the right direction. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, hey guys. So we know that this fancy book reads thoughts and writes down thoughts. So piecing together stuff from this book, it looks like Kana is going like northeast.
Oh, yes. I know.
And
Almost. No?
Okay, so you guys travel in that direction. Okay, you guys go, and you have been traveling for some time, and the forest is getting dark, and it's night.
Camp.
uh,
Refresh all my dailies.
Oh, you want? Right before camp,
That's
give me
what I
we are very pressed on time, so we're heading into the forest. We're trying to find a place to either make an appropriate camp and getting a little bit of headway in there for now. Emily, you being from this area are aware that you are heading into a place that's considered one of those kind of sacred areas that people very rarely walk to unless they're escorted by some people of Melora, and that the Melora people and the Scion people both kind of really want to try to get to here. It's like a rite of passage sort of area. You also know in their canon they believe that they're guarded by seraphs. So you know all those things.
right. All right. So as we're maybe settling down to make camp, or while we're going there on our two horses,
Bye, Veronica. Oh, she's going to the restroom. Nope, that's an earlier message. Did we just lose her?
I think so.
Look for moss in the trees. People are saying in the chat. It's funny. Hey, Odious. Give Veronica a second, see if she rejoins, and we'll just have one last thing, and then we'll be done. And then, anyways, as you see Kim's corpse, the blood drip out of her, and her eyes look up at you, and she says,
That was
"Why?"
a short podcast.
You
Oh,
guys are the
Veronica,
worst.
hey. Welcome back.
So as we're
Like-
traveling, I'm gonna say, hey, grew up around these parts. Like I haven't been to the area where we're headed because it's like a really favorite place for Melora, and I'm not exactly. I'm kind of a little bit lapsed. I did confirmation, and that was fine, and that was the last time I went to temple. So I've never actually been to these sacred spaces, but the priests used to tell us that they're guarded by angels who could be trouble.
Oh, I do not like angels.
I kind of just want to
Not
watch
at all.
Kim fight an angel. I want to make a whole campaign where that happens.
Yes, I want to see that.
I step as she's telling me this. I lead my horse a little bit further into the forest, hop off, and turn around and say, "Nothing is sacred, nothing is safe," and I just keep walking.
Fucking love it. Cool. You guys camp, try to recharge your
Badass.
dailies. Do you guys set any watch? I wouldn't. I
Sure.
mean, I can't see what would be gained from that.
Can I just say that Kim might become a god in my D&D world because that's a badass catchphrase for I want to see a paladin.
No, Kim is baller. I want that. Emily and I were talking about this earlier, Veronica. We really want a Kim podcast where the only consistent person in the whole podcast is you. The DM changes, the world changes, the universe changes, the PC character changes. That would be cool. And then you go from
Yeah, I
low level to
agree.
high level.
Actually, the dragon mark, I finally found one, and it is, I'm sorry, this is such a side note.
No, I love your.
But the dragon mark that I'm using is called Mark of Passage, which basically gives me the power to time and space jump. And so I'm like, that is the only thing that makes sense for this character that's going to be going on all of these one-shots. So it doesn't give me crazy power, and I'm not going to use it in game, but it makes sense for the character to have that, and that's why she's able to go to all these different places and times.
I like how your mind tries to reaches for a place for it to be internally consistent, and it's.
Oh yeah, I do not like to have anything on this character sheet that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled a 99 on whether or not I would take a watch. So because I have said nothing is sacred, nothing is safe, I know that's not true, that some people really do think that, their space is sacred. So I'm going to say it's probably a good idea for someone for us to take sleeping shifts.
Excellent.
I concur.
Give me the order of the watch while I look for something real fast.
I'll
I'm
go
gonna
first.
be the last one.
Okay.
I'm pretty bad injured.
Call middle. No, I insist that I do the
I'd love to be in the sandwich. Not on top,
Yeah.
not on the bottom, but in the sandwich.
In the middle, in the back, with my feet on the hump, called it.
Nice.
Pretend like that's what you wanted.
This is going to have the most, and I understand that we're tired, we don't have very much time, but this is going to have the most impact if I have the image. So give me 2 seconds to find something. Ooh,
It's the image of our dead corpse.
Yeah, I was
yes.
gonna say.
I
It's
got
not a
Beth.
very good thing when we're looking during watch.
I made Beth make character art of what your character looks like dead, and that's just what I'm going to show you, and I'm just going to be like, fuck your game, it's done.
Is
Okay. You have a figure above you as you take first watch. And you hear a voice in your mind in Supernal, which you do not understand, and doesn't make any sense. And it's just kind of like this strange noise. And then slowly this thing kind of almost gets comfortable in your mind. And who is taking first watch?
I am.
You hear in common in your mind, I have seas with no water, coast with no sand, towns without people, mountains without land. What am I?
ah, son of a bitch! You're gonna do this to me after midnight.
Not cool.
Alright, I'm gonna have to write it down.
I will type it for you.
Oh, perfect.
Although
That'd be great.
my Hangouts is being really dumb, and now won't let me pull it back up because it's being stupid. So I'm trying to get back into it. But yeah, give me 2 seconds. That's gonna be typed out. Here, I'll just type it there where I know you can see it.
Okay. Seas of no water. Man, what am I? I'm so horrible at riddles.
And we can't assist, right?
Yeah, I'd be a horrible hobbit. But I am also a low wisdom character, and I'd be like, after several minutes, and be like, I'm gonna go wake up the smart one. And I shake the Baroness. Hey.
Thank God it's not me.
Emily, if you remember.
Seas of no water.
Yeah. The Sphinx is looking at you both very expectantly.
Wait, so there's like a legit Sphinx?
There's a legit
like, it's not
Sphinx.
just a mind? Okay, so I'm gonna be surprised at that for a second.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. A little
Yeah,
too
it's like,
character.
yeah, there's a Sphinx with no nipples. What the hell? It's the first thing I thought when I saw that picture. But so does it repeat the same riddle?
Yes, you have the strange thing of hearing it kind of out loud in supernal, which you don't understand, and then slowly it gets more comfortable with your mind, and you hear it in your heart language. There's even like a word in there that's an Elven that you like are more comfortable with that word, and it's just as you would think the thoughts is how you're hearing it in your mind.
Every time you get close to the answer, I'm gonna say, "Did you think of it? Do you know what it is?"
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is like a map that's labeled with those things, but doesn't actually contain them. That's all I can think about.
The Sphinx eyes, its pupils kind of enlarge until they're completely
Here, we'll
black,
go with the map.
and then it's looking at you very intently.
A map!
It
Here it is.
beams at you, just positively elated. You can see it's yourself through its eyes for a moment, as it's a deeply psionic being. And you're seeing it yourself as just this kind of imparter of wisdom that's worthy to enter the forest for now. Good work. That was correct.
Oh my god.
It's looking at you.
Good job. I would have never guessed that. And that's all it would have been. It would have been a guess. Okay.
I couldn't think of anything else. So.
I would say, hey, that was really good. Go back to sleep.
Well, you're getting the sensation that it's kind of it's back on its hind feet, which are lioness feet, and then its hands are kind of like clasped in front of its head. Its wings are tucked behind her, and she's looking at you as if she's expecting something. At you specifically, Emily.
Oh. Would
you-
I
Yeah.
know what she's expecting?
You
I
may or
done-
may not.
Have I read about Sphinx?
Why don't you give me a roll?
That'd be fabulous. Alright. Would that be
You would-
history or
whatever skill
arcana
you think would
or
be appropriate.
religion?
I would have a different DC in my mind if I think it's the most appropriate skill. I'd never tell you
Right.
if I think you're right or not. But you roll whatever you like in my
That's
world,
fine.
and I'll assign my own DC.
I'm gonna go with history.
Okay.
It was my major.
What'd you get?
22.
22. You get the impression that, well, no, you have heard legends of sphinxes. You're indigenous to this place after all. You certainly know that they tend to only speak in riddles or to love riddles, and it may be looking for you for anything that ends in a question mark, anything at all.
Oh, it might be. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful about how I phrase things to my companions. And I'm going to say, I think we can ask the Sphinx something.
We should probably ask the location. You know what? I don't know to not phrase it a certain way, so...
yeah, no, you would totally probably just ask.
Yeah, I'd be like, does it know which way Kalana went and if she came through this way?
It's looking still at Emily's character as she has answered the question, but it kind of twitches a little bit at the question, and then, like, it's almost looking in your mind, Emily, as you're the one who answered the riddle for consent for that question. And it's going to spill that out very quickly, whether or not you're wondering that as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as she said it, I'd be wondering it. I mean, I don't think that that's the best question to ask, maybe, but, I mean, that's a fine question. Because we might, because the real question is because we need to know where Kalana is, we need to know where her heart tree is. We assume she's there, on her way there, but she may not be.
Right.
I might be overthinking this.
No, I love it. The Sphinx is excited to answer, and you get this sense of, like, elation as you, like, almost like the question that you're hearing posed. But as you qualify it in your mind, it looks to you, and it says, our adherent's heart tree is deep here. You should be able to find it. You can't typically find a Hamadryad's heart tree unless they let you. But I get the sensation that one or more of you here would have no trouble finding their way into her heart tree.
And I kind of just turn and I just kind of look at Kim.
What?
I think the Sphinx means you.
Do I hear what the Sphinx is communicating?
And the DM of this world.
I'm sorry.
Okay, and so I've taken over everything.
Oh shit! I lost. Last I heard was, do you hear what's being communicated?
Yeah, do I hear that?
Yeah, that's gonna happen to all in such a way that all the party members can hear that.
Okay. I'd be like, well, don't act so surprised. I mean, clearly, what's going on here?
BFF or something.
In her mind, not necessarily in Kim's mind.
I gave her a fork, you know.
One of my favorite Kalana moments from that game is when she was devastated over someone said fork in the road. And she's just like, fuck you, man. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my life.
You don't know this life.
So Larissa doesn't know what I gave her a fork means. So she's just going to be like...
You assume that it's sexual and has something to do with a tail. And you're a little creeped out by that.
My mind didn't go there, so...
No, your character doesn't
might.
Like that.
But you want to be a bad girl, so you should be thinking like this.
Yeah, well, but I've never met a tiefling before.
This is true. And so far, you just know that they're scary, but also kind and telepathic.
And they seem to like me, so...
Yeah.
You're mixing games. You're mixing worlds there. There's another tiefling in another game that talks to Emily a lot.
You mean my own character?
Yes. Now, after an appropriate amount of time has passed, and you just guys let me know when you need to sleep, but I'm going to do, hopefully, at least one more. You're going to hear something in your mind.
Oh,
God damn it, instead it. Here we go. Ooh, I'm going to get a good one. Not that one. That one's dumb.
You should do the easy one.
I think
so
this
that
one's easy.
Veronica can figure
Have
it
mercy,
out.
great
I love
idea.
doing these on every party I get the chance to. I do a lot of riddles, and I do it because it's so fascinating to me when they're easy for some people or hard for others. I've had ones that, like, this guy knew just immediately, intuitively, and he wasn't good at riddles, that has never made any sense to anyone else who's heard it. And that kind of thing fascinates me. Oh, I like this one. This one's easy to me, but I think it's hard to some people. But I think you guys can get it. The bones of the world's strength. This one's worded weird. The bones of the world's strength
Can you
jut
copy
out
and
towards the
paste it?
sky's embrace, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom. Of what do I speak?
Oh, mountains.
Yeah. Was that Emily?
Grew up in Colorado, man.
Yeah, I grew up in Utah.
There you
Lots of
go.
mountains there too. Yeah, this Sphinx is now enraptured with you, and is like kind of like walks in a circle a little
Yay!
bit.
I've never met a Sphinx either. Let's roll to see what Larissa's sexuality is.
Yeah.
I think that this Sphinx might try to bone you,
That would be kind of.
is what I...
This is a weird thing to say, but that would be kind of fun in like having sex with a contact telepath. I'm sure that would be kind of. You know what I mean? That would be interesting.
It'd be very what women want.
Yeah.
Apparently, what Sam wants, he writes it a lot in his characters. Then you see Sailor Usagi, and she casts Moon Tiara magic.
No, you just need somebody who's like an empath. Oh God, it's almost 1
An
a.m.
empath.
An
empath?
empath telepath. Yeah.
Empath would be cool too, except that would
There
be really
are-
bad if the person was bluffing a little bit and wasn't as into it as. That could be horrible too. Anyways, so yeah, the Sphinx is looking at you expectantly, and I know you're tired, and I just want to do a little bit more, and then we can sleep.
So one more question.
Mhm.
What else do we need to know? Other than Kim should have no problem finding the
Oh, we should see
who's
what kind
controlling
of
the
creature.
spider.
Yeah. Who is
Or
our?
what?
Who is our? What's the most? What is the danger to the heart trees?
Oh yeah, let's yeah, we asked that.
Ah, she looks at you very somberly.
Good
And
job.
you don't get any words, but you get images of them being used by a scion who is from this town. You recognize this person from your thoughts as you're the Baroness. You're the daughter of whom? Emily?
The Baron and the Baroness
Hmm.
of the town.
All right.
Dietrich and Marta.
Okay. Loan for Dietrich, high for Marta. Okay.
Okay.
You see Dietrich touching one of the trees, and then you are aware.
Dietrich von Vanderberg, why?
You also then see from that Hamadryad's perspective and watch it brutally murder a young man and a woman, or young children, like kind of teenagers that are in the forest. You see this Hamadryad just rip them apart, and you're seeing that from
Are those
a
my
person's perspective.
younger siblings?
Not your younger siblings, but they are people that
Okay.
you would recognize in the village, not by name, but by sight.
Oh, okay.
And you're watching this through the tree. You just understand that Martrick is manipulating this heart tree in some way. You also do sense that this powerful scion has a lot of things at his disposal to kind of dominate person.
So my dad's a dick.
And I think with My Dad's a Dick is probably what I need to call it because we're so tired. I know it had a very confusing start, and I apologize for that because I felt
Wait, you
that.
mean that 1 hour wasn't enough time to get it together? What?
Yeah, so thanks so
No,
much for being.
I had a
forgiving
lot of
me for
fun.
that. I had so much fun, and I love you guys all very much, and hope to play with you guys at some point in the future, either this world or any world. You guys are great.
I want to kick the Scion's ass.
I have mixed feelings. I'm trying to rebel, but I don't know if I'm trying to pull an Oedipus.
Do you want me to go kill your daddy? because I'll do it.
I like that we've set up a world where Kim might murder someone's father in front of their face and have that person say thank you.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
just
and-
skip right to that.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of those things like I didn't think it was gonna be important, but like I have an older brother and he's like the one who's actually gonna inherit, and then I have 3 younger siblings. So
You can decide, Emily,
Ew.
if we do continue this, which I doubt we will, because it's the Kim one-shots and they're hard to coordinate with the same people. But if we ever did continue the story, you can decide if it's a sibling or your father.
okay. Ooh, if it was my older brother, no, I wouldn't want that. Then I'd have to roll the freaking.
I do kind of want
no.
Kalana's story to resolve, because I do have an end to it in mind. That's too bad. We'll have to try to do this again sometime if we can.
I sneak off in the night. Sam, let's just keep playing.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd DM just one person. All day.
Well, you know. I have actually DM'd for a table of 1 and then 2, and then like they kept switching back out.
Ah, that's
pretty
cool. That's fun.
You know, I've DM'd a lot of different weird things, and I've DM'd for a group of 12, but I've never DM'd for a 1 person.
I wrote the spider monster with the intent
I'd
to
be
scare
very
John.
interested.
That was the whole thing that I thought of, is try to make a creature to scare John, and that's why I made that spider.
Oh yeah, I was terrified of that stuff.
Why do you guys keep trying to scare John? Leave him alone.
Leave John alone.
Oh,
What
my
did John
goodness.
ever do to you?
It's funny that I was more embarrassed of hippy dippy parts of this than I was of playing Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon, I'm just 100%. A creature asked, "What are you made
No.
of?" in Sailor Moon, and I said friendship, straight faced back at this creature, and I felt no shame. But in this, I get embarrassed.
Why? It's so silly. It's
I don't know.
great.
I don't know. Hope you guys had fun. I know you guys probably need to sleep,
Yeah.
so I probably shouldn't keep you out much longer.
I really want to sneak off and kill this dude.
You want to keep going?
I can if you want to. If you have other things to do. But
I have nothing to do. I was assuming that you guys were asking to end about this time. Do you want to proceed?
No. I don't want to keep Emily up.
So,
But do you want me to go kill your dad/brother?
I would say, since we've already named Dietrich, who I've never been very close to, then we'll have that. Like, Dietrich's fine. I am also going to have to search in my heart where I pulled the names Dietrich and Marta from. Because the last time I had to come up with names on the spot, it was literally Akbar and Kay. So, I don't know
Wow.
if these things happen. But no, so maybe in having that realization, maybe that stuns Larissa. And the Sphinx casts a spell on her, and a lightning bolt comes down, and she turns to stone. And then you have to go find
Larissa
the wood elves.
rolled
and-
sanity and failed.
Yeah, and fail. So she just runs off into the woods.
Screaming, and she actually physically beats her fist on the first tree that she sees, to the point that she harms her hand, and there are streaks of blood on this tree. And the Sphinx just kind of SMHs.
Harming yourself.
Yeah, so I'm cool with Larissa freaks out that her dad's the bad guy and can't handle it, and
Okay.
fades into the background.
I understand.
So I'm cool with that.
You're playing betas this Sunday, Emily, before you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna kill it. We got so many cool things to do. You have a half soul right in front of you. That's terrifying. Try not to die. Okay, see you
Thanks.
Sunday for the D&Ds.
Alright.
Oh, see you
You guys,
Saturday
thank
for
you
Matt's
for-
game.
Yeah, thank you guys for letting me play. I
Yeah.
love playing.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you, Emily. Teresa, you good on time?
Sorry?
Are you good on time? Can you
Me?
continue to play?
Oh god, it's 2 a.m. here.
Do you,
Oh Jesus.
I'm really sleepy.
You should go to bed.
do you need to go?
And I need to wake up at 7. So, 5 hours of sleep.
Yay! You can do it. Tomorrow's Friday.
Okay, it's no problem. Yesterday I stayed up until 5 o'clock listening to Cthulhu and Friends. So, yeah. No sleep for me.
You're almost caught up, aren't you? On Cthulhu and Friends. I think you're just a couple episodes behind. Is that right?
Yeah.
You have
I'm
a wild
finishing.
ride ahead of you. It's gonna be intense.
Nice.
Oh god, I had in the first season, so I just imagine what's coming. I love to play with you guys. It
Thanks
was
so much.
amazing, although I spoke almost nothing, but okay.
You played. You followed the RP prompts I gave you to a T, and I love the way you played it.
Yes.
Changeling. I thought that was really cool.
I was really nervous because of my English and because I thought I wouldn't know how to say things, so...
I thought you did
That's it.
awesome. I'll play D&D with you anytime, and I play a lot.
Yay!
I play a lot of D&D.
But I'm very skilled with the rogue. That's why it's my
Nice.
my thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nice.
14 years playing as rogue
Shit,
and DMing.
Jeez.
And
Yeah.
over 2 languages, right? Because you started in Portuguese and then switched to or Spanish.
Yeah, no, I play in Portuguese.
You play in Portuguese. Wow, and you're playing
Like,
English now. It's amazing.
yeah. I have a group and we play like Fridays at night. And I play a rogue. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I once played a paladin, but it's not so fun.
I love
Rogues are
paladins
funnier.
and druids. They're so great.
Well,
Oh, I started thinking you were a dwarf. I don't know why. And
I have
only
played
middle
dwarf
of
paladin.
the way. Yeah, but I only in the middle of the way I found out you were a tiefling, and I was like, oh my god, it's not a dwarf.
it's funny.
No.
Because I saw a tweet. I don't know, something like that.
Well, yeah,
Hmm.
you better get some sleep if it's that late. But thanks so much for playing, and I want to play a
Yes,
with you
thank you
soon.
so much.
Oh, thank you. Call me next time if you want to continue or anything.
You got it. You got it.
Definitely.
Well, I work on my English.
You did just fine.
No, your English was
Yeah,
great.
really
it was
good.
perfect. Don't worry. No, don't worry about it at all. It was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank you. See ya.
Good night.
Good night. Veronica, I could have one last combat encounter if you wish. Although one person doing it might be a bit of a bummer, but it's whatever you want. This is your series, your game.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, let's do it. If I die, I'll just resurrect myself.
No one saw you killed 5 dragons tonight. Jesus
I've
Christ!
got all the tattoos.
Excellent. What had happened the next couple of minutes is... Oh, my thing's getting weird. Okay, it's back. Is that your Sphinx friend had asked your companions a series of questions that they were suddenly unable to answer. And as they were unable to answer it, the Sphinx, almost looking regretful as she did it, didn't strike them down, but became like enough of a threat, and they felt something in their minds that it seems like they were incapacitated in some way, as if they were not worthy. The Sphinx is now before you, asks you a final question, and we're going to skip and just say you got the answer right.
The answer is a coffin.
So you have one deity question about anything in this world that might help you be able to plan this last encounter. Any information in my mind, you can have it as perfectly as I have it, if it's phrased in the form of one question.
What are my enemy's vulnerabilities?
To the point. I like it. You're going to get a kind of sad look from her as you hear that. And you're going to see an image first that's going to help clarify her answer. And the image is going to be, I can't remember his name, so I'm just going to say Otius. That's the villain? Otius.
Okay.
Touching a heart tree. And it's a heart tree that you know. You don't know it by its sight, but you know it from the feeling of it. Because seeing this heart tree is exploring the part of your mind that you've only ever felt with Kelowna. And you're aware that it's hers. So you've seen this person touch heart trees, gain control of Hamadryads, and make them do horrible shit. You're aware that this person is somehow able to control some of these beings that are able to dominate psychically other things and almost plague churn some of these humanoids. You're now aware that he seems to be in possession of Kalana's heart tree. You then see, through Kalana's eyes, her tracking you through the forest with the intent to harm you. Not by her will, but a will that's being impressed on her. You then are told matter-of-factly from the Sphinx that the enemy that's now pursuing you and that is going to face you very shortly, vulnerabilities are fire and friendship from tieflings.
I summon my dragon. So, my young adult white dragon.
Oh, do you for real?
Yeah.
Shit.
That should be the only way that I'm able to complete this encounter without killing my friend.
Yeah. Because I was curious to see how Kim would face this confrontation. I'd always intended to make you fight Kalana against Kalana's will. And I thought that perhaps Kim would strike her down, but we'll have to see. So, we have an image up on the Roll20 of a Sphinx and a white dragon. I think that's very appropriate. You have a young white dragon. Is that from the Monster Manual, the level 3 version of that, with 200 hit points?
Let me... I am looking on the SRD wiki. It's going to be challenge rating 8. Let's see. I don't know. It's written down in such a convoluted way. Let me see. In fact, you probably have a better one in the Monster Manual.
Folder? Yeah.
In Insider.
Okay. Yeah, I can pull that up. But anyways, you have the ability to summon this dragon, and you begin to do so. But this dragon's not going to be with you for this first turn of combat, and Kalana is seeking to engage you. The Sphinx fades into nothingness as you have exhausted its ability to ask deity questions of it. And it can't stop Kalana from going to this forest. That's her birthright. She's the daughter of Melora. She can absolutely be here. I'm pulling up a character sheet right now. But you are rolling initiative against Kalana.
$13.
7.
Okay.
Oops. Don't know. Okay. Okay.
Let's see. And I recognize that she's coming at me aggressively, right?
Yes, and you've seen from her perspective through the Sphinx, and something that you believe to be true, of her attempting to harm you. You also see that the villain is at her heart tree.
I am going to take total defense and do +5 to everything.
Right on. I'm so curious about everything that's happening through Kim's eyes. I don't know. I like it. All right, I'm going to do. Thing is, I'm trying to do one round just from memory because I feel like I trust myself to know our character sheet well enough. I'm having a little trouble pulling it on the thing.
Oh, sure.
So I'm just going to do memory whole, because I have that one from memory. That's going to be 18 versus will.
Fail.
Excellent. Nothing on fail. But you do sense that this is happening. You don't sense that it's her mind assaulting you in the same way, and you're relatively easily able to occlude yourself from her attack.
Okay.
She's 10 squares away.
I make no movement, but I do... Am I completely concealed by trees from the skyline?
There's some moonlight and some stars shining down into the camp.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get myself into as big of a clearing as I possibly can. And still remain in total defense once I get there, total defense.
Wow. Okay, excellent. She is going to attempt to roll a will save at that. And she succeeds. And she drops to her knees. And you hear both her out loud and in your mind her say, Kim!
Yes.
I don't have...
Like, I'm shocked that she's talking to me, like, okay.
I don't have long. I want to move my heart tree from here. But he's at it. And he's going to be able to make me hurt you.
Where do you want to move your heart tree?
Anywhere. I don't even need all of it. I just need a part of it. No a ritual. I can make it into a necklace. I don't need to be bound to it anymore. I can be like you. I don't need to be the daughter of a goddess. And then her words kind of like start to fade away a little bit. And her eyes kind of roll back a little bit in her head.
Okay.
Your dragon's with you.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I am going to use, let's see.
Excellent! The character sheet finally decided to work. Oh, I'm so technically inept. The only thing I can do well is stream.
I'm going to roll in athletics. And what I'm going to try to do is grab her by her arms and kind of like just pin her arms to the trunk of her body while keeping the back of her neck kind of against my shoulder. So I don't want her face facing me. I want her facing out and pinned. Oops, I need to reroll that. Not so good. 14.
Yeah, she'll do, she'll roll against you. She got a 12 to resist.
Okay. Let's see. And while I have her, I'm going to mount the dragon and go into the sky and fly towards the heart tree.
She's a contact telepath. So the moment that you touch her in that way, and her mind's especially open to you, you can see not only from your perspective, but from hers. Her eyes kind of flitter a little bit, and they go from being completely black with no pupils to being kind of golden. And when they're golden, you can see the forest as only the adherent of Malora can, with all sort of hidden fey creatures from sight kind of all around you, and looking on kind of frantically. That's just flavor. She will probably be forced to try to resist you at some point. But you get, from touching her mind, a very strong sense of direction to take your dragon.
Okay. So I convey that to the dragon. Okay. And I will roll anything that you need me to roll for keeping her restrained or whatever.
She's going to unfortunately try to do a really big spell on you.
Okay.
Crisis of Identity. It's going to be 15 versus will.
Fail.
Okay, it's still going to do something on miss.
Okay.
Okay. It's hard not to have your mind be open to someone who's opening it so much to you and is so frantically clinging on to you. So perhaps you're very guarded against her sort of psychic inclination, but when you're seeing it from her perspective, it's suddenly not her anymore. And this person is deep in your mind and is trying to unravel a little bit with Crisis of Identity. And you're going to take damage. I'm going to roll that right now.
Okay.
$22. That was a really good roll. Oh no,
Yeah.
22 halved. 11. So, why don't we do this real quick? You can skill challenge to get to the heart tree. And
Okay.
I will only do combat rounds on your failures.
Okay. How many successes and how many failures? Or
If-
you don't have to tell me.
yeah, I have a DC in mind. And a specific level of difficulty too.
So what I'm going to do is okay. I'm gonna roll a perception check to see, like, now that I kind of know where I'm going, I'm going to roll a perception check so I can see if there's like a part of the forest that's going to grant me even a moment of concealment, especially because I'm riding a huge dragon. So mostly something for them to conceal themselves behind. So
Excellent.
I'm looking for that first.
Before you tell me the number, Kalana
Okay.
is casting skill empowerment on you to give you +3.
Okay.
Excellent.
So that's a 14 on perception. And I do have low light vision, so the moonlight shouldn't, or so it being night shouldn't be an issue for me.
It's a little hopeless at first, but then you touching Kalana and being able to look at it through both sets of eyes, you find a place.
Okay. Let's see. To make sure that my dragon is on course and that we're taking, and that we're going as fast as we can, I'm going to roll a nature check to make sure that we aren't flying against any undue wind resistance. 19.
Success.
So I'm basically just kind of checking for the winds. Okay. Boy, this is really not my strong point.
What skill challenges?
Yeah. And
If you get above a 20, you can use her character sheet if you want it for one.
I am going to, because I know that Kalana has the one, now that I'm touching her and kind of like a little bit of mind sharing with her, I want to, because what I'm assuming is that the person that's controlling her can also kind of like see what's going on. Is that
Yeah, no, you're being
Or
Bram
should I
Stoker's
make it-
Dracula, for sure.
okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll a bluff and make it seem like I'm taking a completely different direction, so that when I do approach, that person will be caught off guard.
I like
So I'm gonna make a fake plan. 17 plus 13 plus 3
it. Wow.
is a lot. So what I'm going to do is just, look at Kalana and think like, this is really hopeless. There isn't any saving you. The best thing for me to do is going to be to return you to your temple and put you in the blaze with the rest of your kin. And that's the only fair thing to do to you. You don't deserve to live a life that is possessed.
Kalana's grasp on you sharply tightens and then lets go a lot. And then she kind of looks a little despondently upward at the sky. I'd imagine that you're letting you see and her see like landmarks that make it look all the more compelling as well. So this person is
Yeah.
probably seeing through her perspective, her give up, and then seeing specific landmarks that would further back up that story. That was an astounding success.
Thank you. And
You have 3 successes. No failures.
Can you tell me how close I am getting?
Yeah, and when Kulana's giving up, you have this feeling of where it is, and that you're over halfway. And she's confused, but she trusts you implicitly. And if you say she's hopeless, she believes she's hopeless.
I'm going to direct my dragon with my knees to kind of glide down and circle around the canopy of the forest. And basically what I'm trying to do is continue on with that bluff roll so that the person controlling Kulana thinks I really have turned around. So what I want to do is give the illusion of time, thinking about going to these places and going back to this temple, giving it enough time to have ridden a dragon there, which shouldn't take all that long, but I want them to think that, okay, this is really happening because the passage of time meets up with, what's going on.
Right.
So I'm just going to stay there in that canopy, whether or not the dragon is more comfortable flying or, perching atop a tree is one way or, whatever. So I'll roll a stealth to keep our movement and our whereabouts concealed.
I'll give you a point of inspiration for it because I love it so much. It's just a plus
Awesome. 17, 18, 20 on that.
You succeed.
Okay.
It's relatively easy to move Kulana's head in such a way that from her perspective she's seeing kind of up into the air and not seeing specific things beneath there as well.
Perfect.
So she's not really looking at the forest canopy and she's not resisting you at all. She's very limp if you move her and position her.
So I wait the appropriate amount of time, and now I'm going to roll religion. 17 on that. And I'm going to take the book off of the altar and put Kulana and the book into this into kind of like a binding or whatever, so maybe like using some rope or something like that, and I'm gonna mentally drag her towards the flames. I'm gonna use Intimidate to throw her as monstrously as I possibly can into these flames and let her know that she deserves this death for letting herself become possessed. "17 plus 15 is a lot. Plus I have 3, I'm sure, from her. So basically I am making it seem like I am ruthlessly killing her.
Yeah, I almost bleeded for a second. I got really sad going to that place, especially and you're telling her how to feel and she worships you. That's devastating.
That sucks.
Yeah, you saw before it's kind of sea green and it streaks really bad in her bark when she cries. That's coming out of her eyes and every orifice in her face. She's not doing very well. Her best spell unravels someone's self-image. And so she's had the sensation of doing that to minds, destroying them in front of her, and she's separated from her, but she's experiencing that herself.
I am going to roll a stealth and a heal at the same time. So basically what I'm wanting to do is grab her hand with my hand, because she's still bound against me, because I don't trust that she can't move against me. But what I'm going to do is just grab her hand in mine, and I'm going to squeeze it 3 times so that she knows that each squeeze is a word. And I'm going to just say, I love you, in 3 squeezes to her. And that's it. So it wouldn't mean anything to anyone else.
Yeah.
So 14 on the heal itself, and then to make sure that the person doesn't catch on to what I'm doing, Can I roll a bluff for that, even though I've already done a bluff?
Was that 14 total?
Yeah, 14 total. So I don't know if it's effective for her, but...
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe she just doesn't know what it means or whatever.
Yeah. You can impart images, and she can with touch, and with your mind being linked in that way. What you feel back is fire. Because she's had a very interesting relationship with fire, it's been the bane of her existence, but it's now been something that she's been drawn to and loves. And so you don't know sure in what context, but everything you get from her mind is fire, as if she's in the flames already, in a kind of way.
Okay. I'm going to instruct the dragon now to go back to the heart tree, or go to the heart tree in reality. And I'm going to keep her eyes fixed on the moon itself so that there doesn't seem to be any movement, so that he can't see what's going on. So I'm going to roll a nature check on that, just to make sure that I have her pointed in a way that's not going to give away my location. 18.
Tag goes to the runner. It'll be a success.
Okay.
You've had enough successes that this person completely wholeheartedly believes that she is dead. And you feel that through his revelry and his excitement through there. As killing the literal daughter of Melora is going to open up some opportunity for greater plans of evil that he has.
Okay. Now that we are close, I'm going to take her limp body and I'm going to tie it to my dragon. So just like to its neck, so that she can't move. And the dragon is basically on guard. So if she gets loose or whatever, the dragon has to tell me.
Okay.
I'm going to roll perception to see if I see evil dude. 19.
As you touch Kalana, it's not like touching Kalana. Touching Kalana is always a very specific and very intense experience for the both of you. It's like when you touched the limp Hamadryad that fell to the ground before. And you don't get anything from her perspective at all. You get a lot of the nothingness, just an abyss.
Okay.
19 to perceive the dude. You are at a tree. It is an aspen. There are usually thousands of them sprouting out all at once. They're a giant tree. They're the biggest living organism on Earth. An aspen tree is, or they can be a colony of them.
Actually, let me go back. If I got nothing from her, I think that what I would do would actually be different.
Okay. Yes, please.
So when I get nothing from her, I am going to roll another bluff and basically inspire her, because she's not, in my mind at least, she isn't dead. So I'm going to try and bluff and make her visualize kind of whatever her culture or her religion's heaven or blissful place is.
Okay.
So that at least she's in some kind of comfort. 10 plus 13 is 23.
All right.
So
strangely get a little bit of anger at showing her images of her own religion. And if I'm talking over what you're trying to say, I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do get a few words of, I didn't choose that, I don't choose that, I don't want that, I want my life adventuring with you. Kind of screamed back out. And it's not like attacking you, it's just that's a knee-jerk reaction to being shown those images in that context.
Okay. So now I will have perceived the dude, right?
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
solitary aspen tree, which is a very alarming thing to see. They're never alone. There's always many
Okay.
shoots of them. There's just one. It's okay touching it. He's not looking for you. He's not perturbed. His mind seems to be elsewhere.
I pull out my flail and shield. And I'm going to roll a stealth on that so I can do it quietly.
Yes, please.
18 total. I'm going to cast Shroud of Shadow on myself so I have partial concealment until the end of my next turn. And I get 5 temporary hit points.
After that perfect round of or skill challenge success, with just a couple of hiccups along the way in the form of her sanity, you are very able to have a surprise round, no problem.
Awesome.
Do you have time to fight something?
Oh,
Veronica,
yeah.
the player?
Oh, yeah. I do not take out my shield. I take out my unending cup of wine. And I start making a trail. So I'm just pouring it upside down. I have my flail in one hand and my cup in the other. And I am just walking around and making a ring of alcohol.
Okay.
So it'll be a big ring, but if we're going to fight, it's going to be in a ring of fire, and that'll be that. So, and I will stealth that as well, because I have the concealment.
Okay.
And then 21 on stealth. And if you want me to roll that multiple times, I can.
Give me 1 second to pull up his character sheet, and then he's going to have the opportunity to try to perceive.
Sure. I think that the way that I interpret the Shroud of Shadow is that every time I'm crossing from like one tree's shadow into the other, it's like it stretches out and kind of covers me, you know?
Ooh,
That's just
good.
what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I have something up. Alright, I'm gonna roll perception. It's gonna fail. You're not all the way around. I'll just roll twice. How about that? And you got 21?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't move. His hand's still on this tree.
Okay.
He's wearing a sky blue cloak. It's got the same insignia on it of Melora.
I use my tail and I put the flint in my wine hand, so I've kind of got it like the end of the goblet in one hand and then the flint in the other. And I take my tail and I just click the steel against it and start dropping sparks onto this alcohol.
I love it. Flame comes up all around it. I assume that the alcohol content we got from a dwarf priest is very strong, and this is dwarven wine specifically too.
Yeah.
So there is almost like an explosion of fire around you and all around the thing that is most vulnerable to fire in the entire world, which is a Hamadryad heart tree. So we'll have to see if the fire remains where it is now, but it is filling a circle around it, which you are in sight of it, and this person is as well. He has not made a move to react to that and is touching the tree.
Okay. I charge.
Excellent. go ahead and roll an attack.
Oh, so close. 19 plus 9 is 38, 39. No, 29, sorry.
29 versus AC.
Yeah.
Hit.
Yeah. Okay. $18 points of damage.
Roll me insight. No. Roll me nature with a +3 from your Hamadryad friend.
21.
There's flashes we are able to, without touching her, see from Kalana's perspective. And you noticed that with him still touching this tree, when he became aware of the danger, it was very, very, what he thought was too late for him. But he has a specific intent. Anyways, I'm getting too far ahead in metagame and just word vomiting DM's shit. Kalana is walking towards fire, and she's not meaning to do so.
Gotcha.
That's his round. Go ahead.
I'd like to take an insight to see what I think his HP is. Like if I think that he's close to bloodied or anything like that. Crit.
Crit on insight?
Yeah. I want to know what his HP looks like, basically.
Someone not reacting to this running, someone you've never experienced that before, I would think, in your adventures. Not reacting in the slightest with getting hit by a flail, but looking at him, it's not through his not feeling it. It's through his being able to dissociate himself from his body in some way. There's blood gushing out of his shoulder, which is practically off, and his arm was up a little bit. He's unable to control that arm, and it's kind of down to its side. He's not bloodied, but he is close to his bloodied value.
Okay. I hit him with my flail, but I am inflicting my daily dark majesty. $19 plus 9 is 29 versus will.
He's got a very high will. It was 19 versus will?
Yeah. 19 plus 9.
Oh, okay,
So-
that will hit.
Okay. Nine, 10, 12, 13, 16. 16 points of psychic damage. And I am sliding him 2 squares away from the tree.
Good work. He will unfortunately have resistance 5 in psychic.
Okay.
So he will take 11 from that in addition to the 18 that you've already inflicted. His contact with the tree is severed. He screams the moment he's not touching that tree, and curses, and yells, and you hear that like a shout of energy from him, both in your mind and physically from his body. He regards you and does a spell.
Wait, does he... Let's see. If I'm right up on him and I move him, can I do a move action?
Yeah, you can do a move, a standard and a minor. Neutral.
Okay. So I'm going to move between him and the tree.
Oh, good.
And that's it. That's all I've got.
Okay. He does,
Oh, shit. Go ahead.
he does mental trauma on you. 22 versus will. Oh, it's so much damage.
That's a hit.
How much life do you have?
45.
Oh, you're good. Probably. We'll see. 16. That was on the low side of what that can do. And you are aware that you now have vulnerable 5 psychic, psychic save ends.
Okay.
He moves directly for the tree, invoking an attack of opportunity. He doesn't give a shit.
Okay.
He's trying to touch it.
I am going to do Ferocious Strike against him, which is just my at-will. I have combat advantage. 30 versus AC.
Hit.
Okay. Is he bloodied?
He is, with this hit.
Okay, so it'll be 16 instead of 14 points of damage.
How much damage? I'm sorry?
16.
16, excellent. So we've done 16, we've done 18, and we've done 11 at different points. I'm going to add those together real quick, because I'm dumb. But it's not going to kill him, whatever it is. So he is going to touch this tree. Which means you are going to hear something you may or may not want to hear.
Well, when he was not touching the tree, did Kalana stop moving?
Yes, but she became catatonic.
Okay.
So she resumes from that point. She could be moved out, but she is now in contact with fire in some way. And you see that from her perspective as well as from yours. So I'm going to roll some damage. Okay. I rolled a 12 on a d12, and she's got vulnerable 5.
Wait, question.
Yes.
If she's tied up to a dragon...
She was tied to that dragon?
Uh-huh.
You bound her
How
pretty
did
well.
she start moving?
Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, I will give it an extra turn before he is able to get her to the fire. Because I'm going to retcon say the first turn is him compelling her to use her magic to break the binds, which she would be able to do. And then her moving for one turn. In the second turn, she'll reach fire.
Okay.
Okay, so she's close.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that you are now intimately aware. You can see it from her perspective. There's fire. She can reach out and touch it. But she's not in it.
I instruct my dragon to grab her and take her up into the air as high as possible.
That's a good call. It'll take the dragon one turn of combat to get to her. No, it won't. Dragons are super hella fast.
It would take one step.
Kalana, you feel just like a thunderous whoosh of air around you. White dragons smell faintly chemical and sterile. I read in a Dragon Lore book of D&D recently. And that sensation is all around as the essence of this dragon kind of fills the clearing. And it grabs her and kind of takes flight.
I need to get my Dragonomicon.
They killed a white dragon in my alpha game, and they spent a lot of time with it. And so I read a couple pages of Dragon Lore about white dragons for it. The psychology of white dragons is great, but anyways, I'm getting off topic.
Oh yeah. If you don't have the Dragonomicon for 3.5 edition, it's great.
I need to get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Could work.
So
you've eliminated a threat.
That's taken care of.
2 rounds of fire. Like I would roll for it, but her vulnerability, you understand, is pretty dire. She would die.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now that I know that's taken care of, I'm just gonna go as crazy as I possibly can. Demonic Transformation, Regen 5, Fire Resistance by 5, +2 to attack and damage. So that was my minor.
Nice.
Mm.